Hello, it's May the 10th, I believe. It's Friday and it's around 9:30 or so. I'm at the University of British Columbia campus on the West End by the Pacific Ocean. I'd like to first say hello. It's been at least 6 months, I think, since I put a video together. So I wanted to get this done. I went out and I spent the $125 and bought this camera, this smartphone because it had been a long time. I wanted to have a video and I wanted you to hear me and see me. I'd like to just do a couple of quick things. This will be a quick video. First off, I'd like to say hello to Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I love you. I think about you every day. I hope you are okay. I hope Rick is okay. Please say hello to Rick and Sarah and Amanda. I love you all. There's nothing to say. I think about you every day, and I love you, and I wish this didn't happen to us, but it has. That's all I'm going to say. The other thing I want to do is update you just very, very quickly on what's happened and the crisis that we're in right now. Basically, it has been 6 months of pure hell. I look like I've been through hell, and I have been through hell. It's been horrendous. Now, I'm looking at this video here, and what they're doing, a cyborg, of course, is stalking me 24 hours a day. So if this video does not match the audio, they're fucking around in real time right now. This is what it's like when you're being stalked by these jackasses 24 hours a day. I look like hell because I've been through hell. I left Vancouver. God told me to get out of Vancouver by Hallowe'en at midnight, and I did. The reason I learned later is a maximum security prison has been erected in Vancouver and Victoria, the lower Fraser Valley here. It's an electronic one. It's not like Auschwitz that you could see the barbed wire, but it's very real. It's electronic. It's like the mark of the beast, 666. Either you take this marker and you can eat, or you don't and you starve, which is what is happening to me right now. And it's why I look like the way I look. I am being murdered. I left Vancouver on October 31st. I got to Gibson's, which is just about northwest of here by BC Ferry. Hey, BC Ferries, we know each other very well right now. You've got some beautiful ships, by the way. The ones that are scenes for murder. But aside from that, I guess you should call your lawyers. Aside from that, I went to Gibson's. I escaped Vancouver. I was out by 10 o'clock that night, October 31st. What happened is I went up the Sunshine Coast, which is basically the highway along the Pacific Ocean here. It goes up for about 3 hours, well, about 2 hours. I went through all the different towns on my way up to Port Hardy, which is the northern tip of Vancouver Island. My plan was to go from Port Hardy to Prince Rupert. On the way up the Sunshine Coast, there was one attempt on my life at least in the middle of the night, they made it pour rain in pitch black weather, and they jacked my bike. I'd gone in to get a new spare on a bike, a new tire replaced, and they jacked it up so that when I was riding it, the tire had a high likelihood of bursting. They knew this in advance because they had the rain machines going, and they made it so dark you couldn't see through it. It was really quite a harrowing experience. It was 19 kilometers, I won't forget, but I got through it alive. I had not a scratch or a bruise on me. So I thank God for that, because I know that evening I was protected for certain. When that failed, that murder attempt failed, they tried another one on the BC Ferries boat. I got on the boat it was November 10th. The sailing was at 6 o'clock. I got on around 20 to 5, and by 5:15 I had to flee the boat. I had already been tasered 3 times. I was imprisoned for that. I was in Port Hardy for 2 weeks, to summarize it, and I was imprisoned 4 times. I was charged a 7th set of criminal charges by the RCMP, their clone cops. And I was transferred. My rights in a courtroom were basically thrown out the window, and I was tossed down to Victoria, which is the exact opposite side of the island, down south, about a 4-hour drive away. and I was put into a maximum security there, and that's where I have been ever since. I have not been able to get out of Victoria or Vancouver since. What has happened with that as well, to dovetail, my identity has been stolen. I've confirmed that. There's a woman, her name is Kathleen Mannion. She now has my identity. My disability income was severed in Ontario. This is the second time they've done that. So $900 a month has been cut out of my income. I have had no winter clothing at all. Every night this winter, I have slept outside on concrete. There was a week and a half where there was a severe Arctic chill went through, and it was around -30 every night. I was forced to sleep outside. They wouldn't open warming centers. They wouldn't do anything for me, so they were forcing me to sleep outside in the cold. You can imagine after a week and a half of sleeping outside in -30-degree weather, I became violently ill. Violently so that I was having pains in my chest that were reminiscent of an abscess that I had several years ago. Several nights I would wake up around 2, 3, 4 in the morning and cough violently for an hour and a half before I could get to sleep. They then panicked and dumped antibiotics in the Starbucks water. They just dumped them all in. They were so panicked about this abscess that was forming in my lung because they froze me to death. All of this has gone on. I've been starved so completely now. That's why I look like I do. I don't sleep. I'm harassed. On a very sad note, I was sexually mutilated in the night, right before I left Vancouver. While I was sleeping, homeless on the street, somebody mutilated me, and they will not let me see a doctor. I have begged to see a doctor to have some things taken care of, and they refuse. I have had a broken jaw from a year and a half ago when they assaulted me. They won't let me see a doctor to get that fixed. An asthma inhaler was stolen last summer. 3 asthma inhalers were stolen in the course of about a month and a half. For 10 weeks, because they stole my ID, my driver's license, my health insurance, my birth certificate, a completed passport application, all of that's been stolen. Because I have no health insurance anymore, I can't see a doctor because I can't afford it, especially with a $900 loss every month. There are a whole bunch of issues, medical issues that have been developing, and I cannot see a doctor. My health is really, the main point of this is this last 6 months have been hell that has been unimaginable. We would not leave a cow or a pig outside in -3 to 30-degree weather all winter long without any clothing or without food. We would not leave a cow or a pig outside, but these folks left a human outside. When I say these folks, I'll round it up at this point. I am now drinking only Evian water. I took the label off this because there's cyber trackers in the sky. They do this. It's like the Terminator movie. It's real time now. There's cyber trackers in the sky, scan you for UPC codes on your clothing or any products you've got, or the labels. Don't have any of this stuff on you. I have to take off labels off all my products so they can't scan me and identify me as easily.